Live from KHOU 11, your news starts now.
Now at 6, a heartbreaking crash in northeast Harris County. A 5-year-old girl killed in a head-on collision. What we're learning about the suspect. The government shut down day 39. The Senate met today, but no deal was struck. We're tracking the impacts from the airports to the dinner table. The governor of California makes a trip to Houston, applauding Democrats. What he's hoping the trip does for his state. First up tonight, tragedy in northeast Harris County, where a 5-year-old girl was killed in a wrong-way crash. Her mother hospitalized. Police believe the wrong-way driver was drunk. Orko Manna is live where the crash happened at East Mount Houston near Sheridan Road. Orko, what are investigators saying?
Well, Cheryl, this is just absolutely heartbreaking. First, I just want to show you what we're seeing out here at this scene. We're seeing pieces of the vehicles, including this right here, which appears to be one of the headlights from one of those vehicles. Now, what we're learning from investigators is that the suspect appears to have been drinking, and they say that there were signs that he was intoxicated. They say that he was driving here on East Mount Houston Road last night, but then he went into the opposite lane, eventually crashing head-on with the vehicle that had the little girl inside. Again, this happened around 8:30 last night. You can see the large law enforcement presence at the scene right after the crash. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says the driver of a white Nissan SUV, identified by Sheriff Ed Gonzalez as 20-year-old Carlos Garcia Pineda, was going eastbound when he went into the westbound lanes and crashed into a gray Cadillac sedan. A 28-year-old woman was driving that Cadillac with her 5-year-old daughter in the back seat. The little girl unfortunately died from her injuries, and we're learning that she was unrestrained. Investigators say they saw evidence that Pineda was likely drinking alcohol.
It's never going to be safe. Even one drink can start impairing your ability to drive the vehicle. As I mentioned, there were several open beverage containers, alcohol containers in his vehicle. He was the only person in the vehicle. And again, he had signs of intoxication.
Pineda and the girl's mother were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. However, investigators say they are both expected to survive. Now, Sheriff Gonzalez says Pineda will be charged with intoxication manslaughter. And we also know that the Harris County District Attorney's Office was out here at the scene conducting their own investigation. Reporting live from Northeast Harris County tonight, Orko Manna, KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, Orko, so tragic, especially knowing that that little girl was not restrained. Thank you. Tonight, authorities are looking for a driver who hit and killed a man crossing FM 1960 in northeast Houston. Police say the victim, an Hispanic man in his 40s, was struck near Lee Road early this morning. Investigators believe the suspect was driving a gray truck. If you know anything, call HPD or Crime Stoppers. 2 men are facing charges over an apparent unprovoked attack on a homeless man in northwest Harris County. 27-year-old Jace Fields and 20-year-old Xavier Martinez are both charged with assault. The sheriff's office says the victim was retrieving clothes from a dumpster near Highway 249 late Tuesday when one of the suspects pepper sprayed him. The other suspect egged on the attack and recorded it on a cell phone, later posting it to Instagram. It is day 39 of the government shutdown. Senators are working this weekend, but as of right now, there are no plans for a vote on a bill that would end the shutdown. Meanwhile, air travel is feeling it. The FAA ordered airlines to cut flights at Bush, Hobby, and 38 other high-impact airports by 10% due to lack of staffing. Today alone, more than 1,000 flights were canceled across the country, though there have been no reports of any widespread disruptions because of the cancellations. Airlines are waiving change fees as travelers continue to scramble. And as the government shutdown continues, so does the confusion over SNAP benefits. A new Supreme Court order has put full payments on hold again for millions of families. Here in Houston, one local nonprofit is part of a citywide effort to fill that gap. Here's Michelle Choi with more.
Here at Northwest Assistance Ministries, or NAM, volunteers teamed up with the Houston Food Bank to help more than 1,200 families Saturday, one of 4 major food distributions held across the Houston area. Nadine Scamp leads the nonprofit.
When I got here at 7:30 in the morning, the line was all the way down Kirkendall past 1960 to the Chick-fil-A.
NAM shared this photo showing cars stretched for more than a mile. Organizers say some families arrived as early as 3:30 a.m. Out of respect for privacy, we're not showing recipients' faces, but Nadine says the need is overwhelming.
A lot of need that we're seeing here today, a lot of first-time people that have never been here before.
You just said it there. A lot of folks who've never needed this kind of food assistance are here. Do you feel for these families?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's so many people in our community that are struggling right now, and so Northwest Assistance Ministries is just trying to do what we can to help.
More than 100 volunteers kept things moving, directing traffic, loading boxes, and offering something else in short supply: kindness.
Just try to give them a little bit of kindness and tell them that we see you and that we care for you.
Something 18-year-old Martin Martinez says he hopes inspires others.
These times are when you can actually see how you can help out your community, or not just the community, just the people next to you.
Among those lending a hand, families volunteering together, including 2 little boys eager to help.
Are y'all ready, boys?
Each family here received enough food to feed a household of 4 for several days: canned goods, chicken, potatoes, and milk. NAM says it'll hold 2 more food distributions right here over the next 2 Saturdays.
What's your hope moving forward?
I really hope that our families that are coming through today are able to find stability, and that we're providing a little bit of hope for them.
In North Houston, Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
Thanks, Michelle. The food bank is having another distribution event on Tuesday. For that information, text the word food to 713-526-1111. To that weather now. It might be warm right now, but hold tight. A cold front, a strong one we're told, is expected to blow through the Bayou City. Meteorologist Pat Kaplan is back with us. And Pat, you're tracking that. When can we expect it?
Going to be a drastic drop as we get you into the second half of the weekend. In fact, we got a big game tomorrow. Go Texans coming up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's going to be a windy tailgate for us. A lot of sunshine, so there's the good news. But temperatures will struggle to get to 70 tomorrow, which feels fine. It'll be a far cry, though, from where we were today and yesterday, and of course the wind will make it feel even colder than that. Beautiful shot here. The sun is already down at 6:07. Got to 85 degrees at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Normal is 75. We were in striking distance of the record. No bones there, however, and 66 your wake-up temperature today. We'll actually be closer to the record low temperatures the next few nights, as opposed to our normal low temperature as we get into the start of the week. Your sunset tonight was at 5:29. All right, big events going on down in Galveston this weekend. Of course, weather down there looks great. There's the good news. I'm a little concerned, though, about some of these tents for tomorrow as the wind gusts really start to pick up behind this cold front. 74 degrees outside right now. That's down 6 from this time yesterday, so it is a little bit cooler. But the big headline and the big cool weather doesn't arrive until we get into tomorrow. So gusty winds come in for tomorrow. That is going to really ramp up our fire danger, expecting high fire conditions, critical fire conditions across a good part of southeast Texas for tomorrow. And then the December chill starts to set in. And yes, it is going to be December-like as we get into tomorrow night and Monday night. Low temperatures in the 30s for a lot of areas north of the city. Tonight, though, very comfortable. 50s and 60s across the board, flirting with 70 down on the island. Couple clouds, still mild. We could even see a little bit of patchy fog here south of the city as we get you into tomorrow morning. Nothing on radar, though. As we widen out the shot, though, you could see our cold front waiting in the wings for us here up to the north, and that will arrive as we get into tonight. Temperatures right now, 70 for Tomball, 72 Conroe, 80 at Hobby, 74 for Houston, 75 in Galveston. You don't have to go far to see much colder weather. 52 in Amarillo, 87 though down towards the U.S.-Mexico border. That cold air is about to spill in as we get into tomorrow. Couple clouds, still mild for the overnight. That front comes blasting through tomorrow. It's mainly sunny, it's gusty, it's cooler. Lots of sunshine on deck for us. And then Monday, it is a cold start, and then it is brisk and bright for the afternoon with high temperatures struggling to get to 60. Watch how the numbers drop here as we get you into tonight and tomorrow morning. Again, not too bad. Upper 50s to the north, low to mid 60s for the rest of us. By the afternoon, that's as good as we'll do. A lot of areas, I think, are stuck in the 60s for the afternoon tomorrow. Low 70s, though, south of the city. And then here comes the cold air Monday morning. 34 on the thermometer in Huntsville, 31 in Livingston. Patchy frost not out of the question for these areas. I think 40 for Spring, 38 for Sugar Land, 46 Galveston, 43 Brazosport, and by the afternoon, a lot of us stuck in the upper 50s. Maybe we squeeze out a 60-degree reading for about an hour or so, but it is a cold and blustery day for Monday. So high temperatures really crash out here for the beginning of the week. 70 tomorrow, 60 Monday, back to the low 70s Tuesday, and then moderating back to the 80s as we get towards the end of the week. The winds will be howling tomorrow. I mean, a whipping wind here from the north. 30, 35, close to 40 miles per hour. And that wind will even hang on as we get you into Monday morning. Notice gusting 10 to 20. When you couple that wind with temperatures in the 30s and 40s, this is how it will feel to your skin Monday morning at the bus stop headed to work. Feels like temperatures in the 20s for Huntsville and Livingston, low to mid 30s for everyone else. A very, very cold morning coming up for us again on Monday. For tomorrow, high temperatures 68 for Brenham, 68 for Huntsville, 70 in the city. We'll do low to mid 70s then south of the city with a gusty wind. There's that 7-day forecast. Next few days feeling very winter-like for us, Cheryl. Again, 70 or high temperature tomorrow with a gusty wind. So cold start Monday, 41 in the morning, 60 by the afternoon, 40 degrees then on Tuesday. I don't want to pull the trigger yet on putting a 39 on the 7-day, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. And then we do moderate Wednesday into the end of the week. Definitely want to dig out the heavier winter gear, though, for the next few nights. Cheryl?
Yeah, have all the things ready for the wardrobe. Thanks so much, Pat. California Governor Gavin Newsom came to Houston for a rally he says is meant to, quote, celebrate Texas lawmakers who resisted Governor Greg Abbott and President Trump's efforts to influence the 2026 election. Texas was the first of several red states to follow President Trump's directives to change congressional maps to favor Republicans ahead of the 2026 midterms. But on Tuesday, California voters passed Proposition 50, allowing lawmakers to rework their own congressional lines, a move that could net Democrats up to 5 House seats in 2026. Speaking to a packed house at the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Union in Northwest Houston, Newsom expressed his gratitude to Texas Democrats.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up not just for yourselves, for each other, for the state, our nation, and the world we're trying to build. Thank you. Thank you for not giving into cynicism. Thank you for not giving into the fear and the anxiety that fills so many people. Thank you for being the antidote to that. Thank you for stepping up. Thank you for stepping in. And thank you for inspiring a nation, Texas. Thank you for inspiring the state of California. Thank you for Proposition 50.
We reached out to several times to the Harris County Republican Party for a comment on Newsom's visit, but we have not heard back. To Fort Bend County now, where incumbent County Judge KP George formally filed to seek a third term, this time as a Republican. George announced his switch to the GOP in June, saying Republicans better reflect his values. It came in the aftermath of criminal charges against him. He faces a misdemeanor charge of identity misrepresentation and 2 counts of felony money laundering. George says those allegations are part of a political witch hunt.
I'm running as a Republican because the Democratic Party is not what the ideology I thought what it is I wanted to be part of. And so I made that change. And also Fort Bend County District Attorney and some of the judges and all corrupt.
George's money laundering trial date is set for February 3rd. Well, thousands have converged on Galveston Island for what is expected to be the busiest night of this year's Lone Star Rally. Here's a live look right now at all the action on the seawall, courtesy of Saltwater Recon. Troy Kless is there live to show us what's happening right now. Tell us, Troy.
Well, Cheryl, if you like weather, loud engines, and large crowds, then this is the place that you ought to be right now. If you take a look behind me, here is the Strand right now. As we see, it is very busy and very popular with, we're estimating over 400,000 motorcycles are going to be here right now on Galveston Island, many of them concentrated right here on the Strand. And as you mentioned, with a large crowd, police are, of course, remaining vigilant and trying to keep people safe. So the Galveston Police Department told us earlier today that so far there have been no major incidents this weekend. And the Galveston County Sheriff, Jimmy Fullen, telling me that the crowd today is much larger than yesterday. So everyone taking advantage of the great weather, and obviously that means that it's a great time up here. I mean, I got my friends with this motorcycle club that allowed us to get this great view up here. So, they have been a great time here so far. And again, the Galveston Police Department, they got plenty of people out here. They got a command post set up on the other end of the Strand. So they're going to be watching, making sure everyone is celebrating throughout the night safely. Of course, the message, whether you're riding or not, make sure that you are driving safe too, watching out for motorcycles on the road. We're going to have the full story for people that have been hanging out here all weekend tonight at 10. Reporting live on Galveston Island, Troy Kless, KHOU 11 News.
All right, it looks kind of like a Mardi Gras crowd out there. Nice. Thanks, Troy. Well, a beautiful evening for a bike ride or a bike rally, but Pat, looking at that tomorrow morning, the wind gusts, not going to get on the bike.
Going to be windy tomorrow, yeah, but things really start to go downhill temperature-wise by tomorrow evening. So you got one more decent day in store. Again, tomorrow, though, could be a little dicey on the island with all of those tents set up with the winds. Oof. Cold start then for Monday and for Tuesday. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s, but we do get back to the 80s as we head towards the second half of the week. Definitely a good taste of winter coming up here for the next few days.
And then if you miss the summer temps, they're back at the end of the week.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, one more thing before we go tonight. This was a scene at TMC Helix Park on Houston's south side where hundreds turned out this morning for the annual Walk to End Alzheimer's. The event, hosted by the Alzheimer's Association, raises money for research, support, and care to families impacted by the disease. Our very own Marcelino Benito emceed this event. He lost his mother to Alzheimer's in 2023. We thank you so much for joining us here for this streaming edition of KHOU 11 News at 6. We will have more for you on TV tonight at 10. See you then.